Game changer. It's a word thrown around ever so often that it's lost all meaning in my book. I mean, everyone says the name game changer now and then, but every so often there's one car that comes out that actually changes the game that scares the living daylights out of all the car companies. And that's what I think this one is. It's the BYD Shark 6 DMO, and here are a couple of reasons why I think this might be your next off-roading vehicle or truck. For starters, in the exterior, it definitely shows a lot of truck aesthetic. You got these boxy lines everywhere. You got the BYD badge proudly strewn right across the grille right here. Definitely gives you a lot of those truck vibes that I mentioned. Plus, these boxy headlamps. These are full LED headlamps plus LED fog lamps. Now you got this metallic looking lower bumper here, but right underneath it is a full metal skid plate, a bash plate if you may, that protects the underneath of the car from all of your off-roading shenanigans. Plus you get a 360-degree camera system right here. Under the hood, you've got, of course, DMO. What's DMO? It's dual motor off-roading. That's right. It's similar to DMI, where they actually use a small engine and a small electric motor as well to give you all that power. But in this case here, it's pumped up to 11. You get up to 435 PS and 615 Newton meters of torque from this bad boy. It gives you 0 to 100 to about 5.7 seconds. Try doing that in any other truck in the market right now at this price point. You can't and you won't. And one more thing, fuel economy and range. In a single full tank and a full charge, this can reach BYD quotes up to 800 kilometers. But our guys over there did it a little bit more, 1,114.3 kilometers in a single tank. Heading over to the side of the BYD Shark 6 DMO, you got a lot more to talk about, especially when it comes to truck aesthetics. You got these huge black cladding right here on the side, a really chunky metal stepboard right here. Plus, you got these 18-inch two-tone alloy wheels that looks really rugged. In my opinion, really fits the bill really well. But you got these highway tires. These tires are definitely road tires. You got 230 millimeters of ground clearance to play with, so any small floods, small rivers, river crossings should not be a problem. Plus, you got 700 millimeters of wading depth. If you get any idea of how much high that is, it's right around here. The sports bar here, that ain't going nowhere. That is definitely not just for show. That's definitely functional. Now, right here in the back, you do have four-wheel disc brakes all around. And if you take a peek right here underneath, you won't find any leaf springs because you got double wishbone suspension all around, giving you great handling, especially comfort as well going around the track or even just going down the road. Now, the back of the BYD Shark 6 DMO, this is something that I want to talk to you guys about. It's got a full light bar right here in the back too. I mean, in an era where trucks are slowly becoming, these futuristic looking cars, you got to have your light bars right in the front and in the back. And this one is of no exception. Are we entering an era where trucks are starting to put light bars there? I really think so. You got badges everywhere. I mean, for those people who are wondering why trucks are starting to be minimalist, now, BYD's not going that route and going the traditional truck route with your badges right there. DMO, all-wheel drive, BYD Shark 6, BYD embossed right here in the in the lift gate. Everything that you need to know about your truck, you're gonna let the guy behind you know about it. Now, one of the neatest tricks right here, the BYD Shark 6 DMO, is that the lift gate is actually assisted going up and electronic going down. This bed can carry up to 1,200 liters and up to 830 kilograms worth of load, which is quite mind-boggling to me because you don't have leaf springs, but you can still carry that much stuff in your bed. That's what I call versatility and usefulness. Overall, the exterior of the BYD Shark 6 DMO, I really thought that when I saw it in papers, when printed online, it looked kind of odd to me, but now in the metal, it certainly works. And I think it's one of the better looking trucks in the market today. But let's take a look at the inside and see what BYD has to offer. All right, so we're inside the BYD Shark 6 DMO, and right off the bat, the thing that really comes right at me is just the amount of leather inside this truck. I mean, usually trucks would have these easy to clean materials, as they call it, which means hard plastic, but this one, nope. You got soft touch materials right here on the dashboard, leather right here in the middle of the dashboard. Plus, I love how they decided to mix it up a little bit with the Ocean series design. I mean, if you checked out the Atto 3, you've got the Dolphin. They got some weird bits and pieces right here, but nope, in this one you've got truck everywhere. You got orange accents, red stitching, contrast stitching, plus these nice aggressive looking switches and buttons right here on the center console. Kind of look like teeth, shark's teeth right here. Rotating screen, we can go to TikTok mode, easy, or go back to YouTube mode. That's definitely one thing that all BYD cars should have, and I'm sure that if they took that off, people will say, "Hey, where's that feature?" This one is amazing. You got this huge touchscreen infotainment system with both wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. This is nice that you got this multi-information display in the middle that's easy to read, and it fits right here in the middle of the steering wheel hole, so you can definitely check that out. Plus, for the top of the line model, you got a heads-up display. That's right, a heads-up display on this truck is definitely very useful. I like the design of the steering wheel. It's not matte black. Instead, it's matte gray. That's right, matte gray right here in the middle switches and on the steering wheel gives you that macho look that everyone's looking for. And I like matte gray better than matte black. But it's broken right there in the middle, and you got some switches right here on each side. You got your drive mode selector and your terrain mode selector. You can select between sandland, muddy land, snowfield, definitely all the things that you might want to go through. And one more thing though, do you hear that? Do you feel that? Nope. It's because although this is a pickup truck, you don't hear any of diesel clatter. Even if I open a window this way, nope, there's no diesel running at all. That's a sound of silence, quiet silence. And if you think it's safe enough to go into the water, it's not. You got the shark sneaking up right behind you. This is one nice looking truck. By the way, the seats, well, they're power operated right here, no problem, and they're cooled seats too. So you've got a nice rugged looking truck, but at the same time keeping it cool. This is the part where I think this changes the game altogether. You got a flat floor, a completely flat floor right there. The reason why they're able to do that is because BYD was able to actually fuse the battery flat right there to the chassis of the vehicle, giving you a better center of gravity, better weight distribution. But when it comes to comfort, it actually helps it out in spades as well because you got this flat floor. You got two USB ports right here, one USB A, one USB C, this cubby hole right here, and two AC vents. It's very spacious and very comfortable here. The seats, they're not upright. They're not as upright as other pickup trucks, and you're not very uncomfortable. This one, these are very comfy seats, and they actually feel like SUV seats. And the amount of comfort that I'm getting out of here is definitely out of this world. Now, one thing about the BYD Shark 6 DMO is that it has vehicle to load function. Inside, you got six power outlets in altogether, right there in the back and right here in front as well. So if you need to go out and go camping, charge a mini refrigerator, a small air conditioning system, your coffee maker, your maybe a projector, speakers. If you want to have the idea of how powerful the vehicle to load feature of the BYD Shark 6 DMO is, they say that when fully charged, when you have a full tank of gas, you have the equivalent of bringing 97 solar panels with you. The power of 97 solar panels. I'd say that's more than enough to power a weekend's worth of outings. No problem. Let's take this out for a spin before I say too many things about this car before our review. I'm in love with this truck. All right, so right now we're behind the wheel of the BYD Shark 6 DMO. We're testing it around this track, and here we're at the 45-degree rollover angle. Just obstacle part of the obstacle course. Here, testing out its ground clearance. It's at 230 millimeters of ground clearance, which that shouldn't be a problem. Underneath there is a solid metal plate to protect the battery. Not that the battery needs any protection, it's just something for a little bit of more peace of mind because it is a blade battery, which is one of the safest in the market right now, even if you puncture it. So the BYD Shark 6 DMO does have a wading depth capacity of around 700 millimeters. And we're going through one small puddle right now. Oh, we're in deep now. So a couple of misconceptions that some people have over EVs is that once you get it wet, all things are gonna go bad. Not with this one though. If your phones are waterproof, I mean, how much more would cars be? Especially with this big ass truck, the BYD Shark 6 DMO. Now talk about its suspension. One thing I was really surprised about the suspension of the BYD Shark 6 DMO was that usually trucks run on well, you got wishbone suspensions up front and leaf springs in the back, or even multi-link suspension coil springs here. But this one is utilizing double wishbone suspension on both. Despite the fact that you don't have leaf springs in the back, BYD quotes that you get 835 kilograms worth of payload capacity, which is quite an anomaly indeed. Now, if you're wondering how much stuff you can put in the back, 1,200 liters worth of space. That's a lot of water. So right now we're testing out the one of the safety features, hill hold control. So if you're stuck in an incline, just in case you're stuck in an incline, and you panic and you forget to hit the brakes, it actually has a feature where it holds you still for 3 seconds. That gives you enough time. Gives you enough time. There, okay. Now let's stop. Stop right now. So we're on the brakes right now. Now I'm gonna let go of the brakes. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Exactly 3 seconds as advertised. All right, so right now we're heading over to the fast track section. Now, the BYD Shark 6 DMO total power output goes around 435 PS and 650 Newton meters of torque. What does that mean? Flagship specs, bro. Flagship specs. Those power figures usually found in some performance trucks, exclusively in performance trucks, but you've got it right here in an electrified vehicle. So right now we're gonna do some quick cuts and rolls. I'm gonna stop talking right now. So let's go. Where are we going? Oh, too bad. Oh, I didn't go through the S curve. Dang. So after the dirt and the sand, we're gonna do that same thing on the tarmac, which proves that this can go anywhere. Let's go. This doesn't feel like a truck at all. It feels like a car. It feels like a proper performance car.
Doesn't even feel like an SUV.
Doesn't feel like an SUV. One of the best things about this truck is that it's like a cheat code. It's easy for you to drive around haphazardly along this particular track of road without having to change modes. I mean, right now I'm on sand, right? We're on sand, we're normal, but without having to fiddle through all the systems here, just plain old get in and drive. So guys, the BYD Shark 6 DMO is totally a revelation for me, to be honest. But going through the paces of this car, I can't find any rivals at the moment. I think car companies will have to step up if they actually want to match up with this. So that's my first look of the BYD Shark 6 DMO. If you want to check it out for yourself in the metal and even test drive it and other BYD cars as well. Check it out right here at the BYD Electric Expo at the Aseana Open Grounds, right next to the Ayala Malls Manila Bay, from March 8th to March 9th. And you never know, you can actually go home with one and be proud with your electrified pickup truck. If you want to get more information about the BYD Shark 6 DMO, head on over to the BYD Philippines website, BYD.Ph.com, or head on over to the nearest BYD dealership. I'm sure there's one near you. This has been Roy Robles with Zigwheels.Ph. I'm going to head on out and test drive more of these vehicles, and you should too, right here at the BYD Electric Expo.